Pirates awakened Conqueror at the beginning. Chapter 181 to 200. Chapter 181 The Third Apprentice of the Five Emperor by Z. Above the sea, a very familiar voice suddenly came to the ears of Whitebeard, Marco and the others, and a figure suddenly appeared in their minds. Could Ace be Ace? The sea breeze blew, the fog dissipated, and the young man hanging in the air was finally exposed to the sight of Whitebeard and the others. Ace. It's really him. Marco and the others looked shocked when they saw Ace appearing, because they could never have imagined that Ace's strength had become so powerful. Even though Teach didn't move, Ace stepped back. It is more than 100 feet tall, but it can resist Teach's two ultimate moves. One can imagine how strong Ace is at this moment. Ace, it's you. How is it possible? Teach saw Ace with flames rising from more than 100 meters away, as if he had seen a ghost. How could that guy's strength? Although he knocked Ace out, but Ace showed more strength than before defeating I at this time. He was too strong, and what was armament hockey mixed in his flame just now? That kid has developed armament hockey to such a level. What a terrifying talent. Seeing Ace's face clearly, Burgess and the others are full of solemnity. Reason for this is not because Ace appeared here, but because of Ace's current identity. He is the captain of the 2nd and 2nd Division of the Yanwang Pirates, and a cadre of the newly promoted 5 Emperor by Z. When that kid first made his debut, he overturned the Kaido of the Beast's pirates, killed Jack of Drought and Queen of Plague, and assassinated 2 of Charlotte Linlin's 3 desert generals. Some time ago, they even defeated the 4 emperors Charlotte Linlin and cut off one of their arms, which is why they had a chance. Not only that, in the waters of Fishman Island, all of them, including Teach, almost died in the hands of Bai Z. That kind of thunder's strength. To be honest, even if they were there, they were not fully sure about them. The captain of Teach was able to suppress Bai Z. Call. I didn't expect that Captain Ace's strength would increase. What an unexpected talent. But speaking of this, Teach's eyes gleamed fiercely. If your Captain Bai Z comes, maybe I will retreat, but if you come, I'm afraid that Whitebeard will go to hell together. Great opportunity. The first captain of Teach, also the strongest person outside Teach, met Whitebeard. If there is a flaw, he immediately punches him aggressively, and attacks Whitebeard. In response, Ace did not move at all. Open black lens bracket Susano close black lens bracket. Voice, and in the next instant, in front of Whitebeard, the arm and ribs of a purple-blue hill appeared. Nothing else, it was the original form of Susano. Susano appeared in the air, and in the next instant, Susano smashed his fist towards the speeding Burgess. After a loud roar, Burgess flew out at a faster speed, and then stopped after retreating more than 100 meters. The sudden change shocked everyone in the field. Who is Burgess? That is Teach's most powerful confidant, and also the most powerful person besides Teach, was actually smashed by a sudden giant fist, and flew out. Although Burgess was not injured, it was enough to show that the opponent's strength was very good. Vigor fell behind. A white-haired young man with red eyes finally appeared. At this moment, the young man was wrapped in a blue-purple Susano, and behind him was Whitebeard, the target of Burgess' attack. Seeing the blue-purple hill-like figure standing in front of him, Whitebeard frowned, obviously surprised by the sudden appearance of Susano, and he couldn't even recognize what kind of ability it was based on his experience. Who is your excellency? Burgess stared solemnly at Kakashi, who was suddenly visiting from the opposite side, and there was always a bad feeling in his heart. But without waiting for Kakashi to speak, Ace on the side smiled deeply, forgot to introduce, this is named Kakashi, the captain of the 6th Division of my Yanwang Pirates, and also our Bai Z. The captain's third apprentice besides Zoro and Sanji. The dull voice came to the ears of Burgess, Marco and the others, all eyes focused on Kakashi, even Whitebeard and Teach. The captain of the 6th Division of the Yanwang Pirates or the apprentice of the 5th Emperor Bai Z, no matter which one is enough to make people fear. Not to mention the two together, there are too many things to explain. Hearing Ace's words, Teach's expression changed. Now that the two have joined the battlefield, the situation has become settled. Now a Whitebeard has not been completely settled. If he offends Baizi again at this time, his situation at that time will definitely be unfavorable. Time Teach's mind flashed various ways of dealing with things here. Chapter 182_unwilling to leave, the world is boiling. Blackbeard Teach's eyes flickered, and he finally did not dare to take risks. Whitebeard, you won't be so lucky next time. Withdraw. Teach gritted his teeth angrily and turned to leave. Captain, we are really withdrawing, and it's almost a shock to the fruit. I said withdraw. Teach, who was already full of anger, glared at the confidant, so frightened that the confidant hurriedly lowered his head, not daring to say another word. Everyone, withdraw. Burgess glanced at Kakashi deeply. He couldn't push Kakashi back even if he took the initiative in the confrontation just now. The strength of this person is probably at least comparable to Ace, and the most important thing is that this person is still Yan Wanghai, the third apprentice of Baizi, the captain of the bandit. Has the strength of the Yanwang pirates developed to such a level that an apprentice can actually suppress himself? It seems that the Yanwang pirates will be the confidant of their pirates in the future, even more powerful than the Red Hair pirates. Even more tricky. Thinking of this, Burgess announced his retreat according to Teach's order. After all, although Whitebeard is injured now, and it is not light, one thing should be clear. At this moment, Whitebeard still has the strength to fight again. If they escape from here, I am afraid that in the near future, they will face both Whitebeard and the Yanwang pirates at the same time. Pinch. Such a scene is definitely the last thing Teach and them want to see. Less than 2 minutes, Teach took the thousands of pirates left from the Blackbeard pirates, and left the sea area in disgust. His eyes were full of unwillingness, and the rest were unwilling. Just a little bit, he can kill Whitebeard and get the shocking fruit of his dreams, and then he will be invincible. But it was just a little bit short, the Ace and that mythical ability person suddenly came to disrupt all his plans, but although he failed to get the shock fruit, nearly half of the captains of the Whitebeard pirates fell into the sea, not without any achievements. Just that weird youth. Punch. Burgess was knocked into the air, and the strength was probably still. Burgess was above, and the combat power was not far behind that of Ryokugyu Fujitora. Yanwang pirates, it seems that among the 5 emperors, you are the most hidden. Teach said this because he knew very well that in the Red Hair pirates, except for Shanks and his co-captain Ben Beckman, few would be Burgess opponents. A little. After that, only the bearded pirates were left in the entire arena. Looking at the devastation, nearly half of the many cadres died, and Whitebeard's already pale face was even more old. Whitebeard knew very well that if Ace and the young man hadn't made a move this time, even if he could escape, Marco and the others would have very little left. Has my time passed? Just half a day later, the news of the battle between the 2 5 emperors, Whitebeard and Teach, spread to every corner of the world like a hurricane. World heard the news, they all boiled. Marine headquarters, recruit camp. Hey, did you hear that? The Whitebeard pirates and the Blackbeard pirates fought in the sea. Isn't it? I didn't expect Blackbeard's strength to increase so quickly, and the hard steel Whitebeard won't fall behind. Cut, what do you know? Although Whitebeard is old and his strength is not at his peak, but if his sons were killed one after another, causing him to be attacked by Teach, how could he be suppressed by Teach? But then again, Ace is strong enough, with 2 killing moves of the hard steel Blackbeard directly on the front, so the strength is probably not much worse than Admiral. That's not all, there's that. The white-haired young man who suddenly appeared, was able to smash the sneak-attacking Burgess into the air, and according to Ace, that man was the captain of the 6th division of the Yanwang pirates, the 5th Emperor Baizi. What about the apprentice? Yeah, it's horrifying to think about it. A big pirate like Burgess was smashed into the air by Baizi's apprentice. Is the Yanwang pirates lineup already so strong? Quote. Marine Fleet Admiral, Sengoku Office. Sengoku, who was about to retreat to the second line, finally had a flash of joy in his eyes when he heard the excited report of his subordinates. "What did you say? The Whitebeard pirates and teacher both lost. Many cadres on both sides have died, and countless elite members have been killed." "Ha ha ha ha, good, good, good." The two great five emperors were both injured, and many high-level cadres were killed. This was definitely a traumatic event. If there were more battles like this, the pressure on their marine would definitely drop exponentially. Just thinking of the Yanwang pirates, the smile on Sengoku's face dissipated at a very fast speed. Just a 6th Division captain knocked away Teach's first confidant, Burgess. Baizi and his party were stronger than him. Surprisingly, I really don't know if Momoshige will be his opponent in the future. Fei Lu reminds you. Chapter 183 Eisen appeared and defeated Marco. Redford. Ben Beckman was smoking a cigar against the sea breeze, and the smoke wafted back, leaving a landscape in the air. "That Baizi is really amazing. I'm afraid we will not be his opponents in the near future." Looking at the newspaper in his hand, Ben Beckman said to Shanks beside him. "Yes, that would not be better." Shanks revealed Gentleman Isho, "The New World has been silent for too long. The four emperors were the peak before. There has been no such pressure for a long time. Only Baizi's third apprentice is so powerful. Blackbeard's first captain Burgess was defeated by him. What's more, that ace, the ability to burn the fruit was completely restrained by Blackbeard Teach before, but now it is obvious that the ability has been greatly developed." Pause. Ben Beckman continued, facing the current Teach attack. "I'm afraid Marco, the captain of the first team under Whitebeard, won't be so easy." Shanks was blowing in the wind, and the windbreaker moved with the wind, feeling the comforting sea breeze. "That's interesting, isn't it? But now it's Marine who has more headaches than us. After all, the strength of the Yanwang pirates has grown." Something was unexpected. Kaido of the Beasts area, an island. Nozawa Tavern. The Yanwang pirates intervened in the battle between Whitebeard and Blackbeard, and just the two of them forced Blackbeard to retreat. After reading the report in the newspaper, Nozawa's beautiful eyes widened and she couldn't believe what she saw. The impact of this incident on her was too great, and she couldn't accept it for a while. A battle between Blackbeard and Whitebeard. Whitebeard's squad leader suffered heavy losses. If Ace and that Kakashi didn't go to this time, the consequences of the Whitebeard pirates would be unimaginable. Not only Nozawa Tavern, but the whole new world is boiling with this news, and countless pirates have a new understanding of the Yanwang pirates who are now on Fishman Island. On the other hand, the Whitebeard pirates are in grief. There were originally tens of thousands of pirate elites, but now there are only nearly 10,000 left, and all of them are wounded, their breath is sluggish, and the whole ship is covered with a gloomy aura. After statistics, they had 7 captains left in the sea this time, and this blow was too great for them. Teach, ahem. Seeing that there were 7 captains left in the sea, Whitebeard rushed up against the blood, almost injured, and a mouthful of blood sprayed out. "Dad, are you all right?" Marco, Ace and the others asked hurriedly. "I can't die yet." With a wave of his hand, Whitebeard broke free from the support of Marco and the others, looked in the direction of Blackbeard, his eyes full of sternness, and looked at Whitebeard's desolate back, giving a feeling of heroic twilight. Has the age of daddy over? A Blackbeard beats them up like this. Is this the strongest man in the world? It's disappointing. In the midst of everyone's grief, a figure appeared on the deck at an unknown time. Presumptuous. Marco, who was already very angry, heard the opponent's provocation, wiped the soles of his feet, and immediately attacked the person who suddenly appeared. "Marco, stop." Under observation Hockey, of course, Whitebeard discovered his existence the first time the figure appeared, and his intuition told him that this man was very strong. G followed the name of the phoenix, and a phoenix of more than 10 meters appeared in the sky, with blue flames rising all over the body, and the super powerful attack came in an instant. The 63 6 Thunder Roar Cannons. Whisper. That was swooping in, and he attacked with a loud roar. Before he was deadlocked for a second, the Phoenix Marco was horrified, and was severely pressed on the deck by the terrifying energy. And he could clearly feel that the man on the opposite side had kept his hand, otherwise he would have been killed by the blow just now. Dignity. Everyone's faces are full of solemnity. As soon as the crisis of Blackbeard was lifted, another mysterious man came. Who are you and why are you here? Seeing Marco's defeat, Ace's body was filled with fiery flames, and his eyes stared at the suddenly visiting figure without blinking. My name is Eisen, the vice president of the Hunter Guild. Seeing Ace's vigilant look, Eisen laughed out loud. Hunter Guild, you are a bounty hunter. Ace heard Eisen's words, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. When did the New World have such an incredible bounty hunter, with such strength? Even if he was inferior to the 5 emperors, it was not far behind. Bounty hunters, no, the Hunter Guild was founded by a powerful leader, and I came here to invite Whitebeard to serve as the guest secretary of my Hunter Guild. Inviting Kei-Ching to hear Eisen's words, the hostility of Marco and Ace to him was obviously weakened a lot. In this way, this person is not an enemy, at least for now. Chapter 184_Eisen Now, the Whitebeard pirates disbanded. Moby Dick, on deck. Sea breeze was blowing, and Whitebeard's eyes flickered. If he had refused it before, but now seeing Whitebeard's consideration, Baizi transformed into Eisen and laughed. Now, if you don't think about yourself, your subordinates, you should also consider these squad leaders. Blackbeard is only temporarily suspending the war, and if he fights with you again in the future, the consequences will be. Sure enough, what Whitebeard was most worried about directly addressed what he was most worried about. He didn't care how he himself was. With that guy Teach's temperament, he would never make his squad leader feel better. You are so sure that the president behind you has dealt with Blackbeard? Whitebeard stared suspiciously at Junyi's Eisen. After the previous battle, he was incomparably sure that Teach's strength at this moment was definitely at the level of the 5 emperors, and it was still in the front. It's just a strong pirate. You don't need the president to take action, that. If Teach dares to trouble you in the future, I will solve it. Hearing Whitebeard's fearful words, Eisen's mouth curved into an arc, and he had already settled for Whitebeard. Young people today are getting more and more arrogant. If that's the case, take me a punch. The ability to shake the fruit immediately came out, and the punch was as fast as a thunderbolt, and it attacked Eisen. The speed was fast, and the sudden attack was beyond everyone's expectations, and this was exactly what Whitebeard wanted. The 81 boundaries of the bound path. A low shout, he pushed out with a palm, and immediately formed a defensive wall in front of Eisen, and the two attacked, slammed into each other, and made a thunderous sound that shook the world. With the two as the center point, the violent energy overflowed, and the clothes of the two were blown by the strong wind, and the space on both sides was distorted and deformed by the attack. After a long time, the violent aura dissipated. Come and don't go indecent, since you make a move, then you can also take me. The 99 and 5 dragons of breaking the way are destroyed. Words came out, with Eisen as the center, the spiritual pressure overflowed. In an instant, in the horrified eyes of Marco and the others, a dragon-shaped spiritual pressure of more than 100 meters covered the sky and appeared in front of everyone. It shocked everyone. Everyone felt a kind of fear from the bottom of their bones, and the top of their heads was like a mountain that weighed more than 1,000 kilograms. The dragon-shaped Reiatsu immediately attacked Whitebeard. Open black lens bracket shattered air shatter close black lens bracket. Not daring to show any arrogance, Whitebeard clenched his fists with both hands and slammed towards the dragon-shaped spirit that was swooping towards him. Loud bang, as if more than 10 thunders rang out at the same time, and everyone in the audience only felt their eardrums painfully shaken. Within a radius of 10 feet between the two, there was nothing. All of them were blown away by the terrifying aura, and the super aura fought against each other, and the eyes of the surrounding people couldn't see it clearly. Poof! Under the two attacks, a mouthful of bright red blood sprayed out. Whitebeard's face turned pale, and he stepped back, taking 5 or 6 steps back, and then stopped, but there was no sign of discouragement in his eyes, but he was relieved. "Dad, are you all right?" "Bastard, actually hurt Dad so much, killed him. How can I tolerate this guy hurting Dad?" Foil Vista's several squad leaders, one by one, are about to fight Aizen. Stop. Seeing the extraordinary strength of the man in front of him just now, this man can knock him back, although he is not sure that he is stronger than Teach, but at least he is not weaker than him. His own body Whitebeard knew that it was no longer his time. First Roger's intern red-haired Shanks, then by Z, Teach, and now Aizen, plus Marine's Momoshiki Admiral and Tsunade Vice Admiral are all at a terrible young age, and they have strengths that he must attach great importance to. It seems that it is time for him to quit. He has been traversing this sea for decades. This life is worth it. I promise you, I will be a guest of the Hunter Guild. Whitebeard nodded heavily, speaking with determination. Very good. In the future, you will definitely be grateful for your decision. From now on, the new world will be incomparable. The Beard Pirates will only have Whitebeard, the guest of the Hunter Guild. I understand what to do. Whitebeard looked at the tens of thousands of men around him with complicated eyes. Edward Newgate, announced that the Whitebeard Pirates will be disbanded from now on, and everyone who is willing to stay will join the Hunter Guild. If you want to leave, Whitebeard, will not block. Wow, as soon as Whitebeard's remarks came out, there was an uproar at the scene. What did they hear about the disbanding? It's not a dream. Dad actually wants to disband the pirate group. How could this happen? If you lose to Blackbeard Teach, you don't need to. This way, Dad, we will always be part of the Daddy Pirates. The scene, all of them were not calm immediately. They never expected Dad to make such a decision. I've made up my mind. Marco's next thing is up to you. As if he had finished speaking with his last breath, Whitebeard's heart was relieved a lot. If so, his children should be able to save their lives. Chapter 185 _ The President is 10 times stronger than me. The Hunter Guild is not. Anyone can join. If you want to join the Hunter Guild, you must be a devil fruit person. In addition, you can join as an exception with amazing combat power and swordsman level or above. The corners of Aizen's mouth twitched, and she looked at Marco and his party deeply. Most of the people present were stunned for a while. What do you mean, the Hunter Guild still doesn't want them? Shushu immediately focused on Whitebeard. If they left the respected old man, they couldn't believe what life would turn out to be. However, since you are Whitebeard's subordinates and the first recruits from my Hunter Guild, those who are dissatisfied can become peripheral members of the Hunter Guild. Of course, if someone with devil fruit ability or swordsman level wants to leave, I'm not reluctant, but since I'm not a member of the Hunter Guild, if something happens in the future, the Hunter Guild will not ask. Aizen said something, and the field was once again caught in a heated discussion. Since my father promised to be your Hunter's Guild, then Marco, are willing to join your Hunter's Guild. Marco didn't think too much about it. As far as he was concerned, he went wherever Dad went. I'll join too. After Marco, Foil Vista, the captain of the 5th Division, also spoke out. As a great swordsman, he was fully qualified to join the Hunter Guild. After a while, Whitebeard stared at this enchanting youth who was strong enough to compete with Whitebeard. I don't know who the president of this union is. Since Aizen revealed his identity, he was very curious about this question. After all, Aizen's strength was there. To be honest, I don't even know the identity of the guild leader. It was an existence that was 10 times stronger than me. At that time, the guild leader defeated me with just one move. Lan Ran, who turned into Bai Zi, tells a lie. His face is not red, and he talks nonsense. There is no president in this world. He is all talking nonsense. If there is anything, it is himself. Creating a sense of mystery, the unknown is always the most terrifying and most dreaded thing. Defeated by one move 10 times. After listening to Aizen's words, both Whitebeard, the squad leader and the elite you are all eyes jumping. What they heard, 10 times worse. They defeated the existence comparable to Blackbeard Teach. So who is the leader of the Hunter Guild? It's horrible, 10 times worse. It's not. The adults in front of me are already powerful. Ridiculous. If it is 10 times stronger, wouldn't it be more powerful than Dad? I am afraid the new world will be completely chaotic. The Hunter Guild, from now on, I am afraid it will become the biggest force in the new world besides Marine. No wonder the conditions for joining the Hunter Guild are so harsh. Thousands of Whitebeard's subordinates were hotly discussing, and Eisen turned a wooden sign into an arc and gave it to Whitebeard. This is the identity card of the Hunter Guild created by the president himself. The Hunter Guild only recognizes the identity card and does not recognize people. Whitebeard looked down at the wooden identity card in his hand. On the front was written the 444 simple characters of the Hunters Guild, and on the back was written the word, Hing Ching. Afterwards, Eisen threw several wooden identity cards to Marco, Foil Vista and others. The style was similar to Whitebeard's. The front side was the Hunters Guild. Marco is 011, Foil Vista is 012, and to see the ranking, Marco and Foil Vista look at each other. Their strength is actually not ranked in the top 10. What is the existence of this Hunter Guild? Ace and Kakashi were stunned for a moment. Everything in front of them was far beyond their understanding. This mysterious man managed to subdue Dad and the Whitebeard pirates so easily. It was terrible, terrible. Scoff. While thinking about it, a burst of sound came. Ace grabbed it, and another wooden identity card appeared in his hand, but the front side was the Hunter Guild, while the back side was 004. You are Ace, the captain of the 2nd and 2nd Division of the Yanwang Pirates. Go back and give this ID card to your captain. If you are interested, go to the Hunter Guild to sit. That's good. Ace, who was stunned for a moment, stared blankly at the identity card in his hand. He had to know that Marco's strength was only ranked 011. You can imagine what this 004 means, what the Hunter Guild is going to do, and disrupt the new world. If it is a father they merged into the Hunter Guild, the ghost knows what will happen, and they are afraid that it will be a bloody storm. When Ace and the others came back to their senses again, Eisen had disappeared from the field, as if it had never appeared before, and at this moment, a voice came from the sky. The Hunters Guild is headquartered in Prehistoric Island. Only those holding identity cards can enter. If the rest want to enter, there is only a dead end, everyone remember. As soon as these words came out, more than 10,000 members of the Whitebeard pirates on the field swallowed their saliva one by one, and they were all messed up in the wind. Chapter 186 Misfortunes abound, Kaido's comeback. The next day, that the 5 Emperors Whitebeard pirates were disbanded and all the key members joined the Hunters Guild quickly spread to the whole world like a plague, shocking all parties. The first person to be provoked was none other than Blackbeard Teach, who was obsessed with being bad. IWC, originally the headquarters of Charlotte Linlin. Click. The disbanding of the Whitebeard pirates is really courageous. Is this seeking a backer? Such a decision is beyond my expectations. Just what is that Hunter Guild? A bounty hunter organization. Check it out for me, I'd like to see that. The so-called Hunters Guild is so sacred. Teach couldn't keep his calm anymore. The Hunter Guild that suddenly appeared always gave him an ominous premonition, as if something big was about to happen. Marine Headquarters, Sengoku Office. Cough 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 cough. What? The Whitebeard pirates announced their dissolution and merged into the Hunter Guild. How can that old Whitebeard do this? That's great, I just happen to be resigning from Marine Fleet Admiral soon, so let's officially announce it. From now on, Momoshiki Admiral will become my Marine Headquarters, Momoshiki Fleet Admiral, and the vacated Admiral position will be promoted by Tsunade Vice Admiral. Yes, Sengoku-sama. The Rear Admiral officer heard this, his whole body trembled. The time to come has finally come, and Sengoku Fleet Admiral is about to abdicate. After half an hour, the Marine Headquarters was in an uproar. Hey, it's true, Marshal Sengoku is about to abdicate. The announcement has come out, how can it be fake? The Whitebeard pirates disbanded, Sengoku Fleet Admiral abdicated, and a new era is about to begin. It's not. Kaido of the Beasts is the only one left in the old-fashioned forces. However, Kaido of the Beasts has a much longer lifespan than ordinary people. With his current vitality, Zhengfang. The 5 emperors who have just stabilized, and now Whitebeard has withdrawn, and the 4 emperors, this is true. 2 pieces of news came out one after another, a new generation replaced an old one, and the entire marine was boiling from top to bottom, from inside to outside. Momoshiki Fleet Admiral, the first beauty in their marine history, and the newly promoted admiral is no less than Momoshiki's Tsunade Vice Admiral. Redford, the pirate ship of the red-haired Shanks. Whitebeard disbands, Sengoku abdicates, the new world is a magical place, just one day. It happened in between. This matter is also excusable. Only less than half of Whitebeard's team captains remain. As for Sengoku, I'm afraid that these years are really tired. Then Beckman took a cigar and breathed a sigh of relief. Perhaps, but this hunter guild is really an interesting place. It is said that Whitebeard once fought with the vice president of the hunter guild, and also repulsed Whitebeard. Shanks' eyes were full of brilliance, and the fighting spirit was very strong. Before fighting against Baizi, they all kept their hands. After all, the 2 sides are not mortal enemies but friends. It must be exciting to fight against the mysterious man who repelled Whitebeard. Kaido of the Beasts, HQ. After this period of recharge and underground transactions with the King Shichibukai Doflamingo, the strength of his subordinates has also recovered, and new strong men have appeared one after another. The 3 disasters before, but it is enough to be alone. Whitebeard disbands, Sengoku abdicates. Are these guys going to quit just like that? But that Momoshiki, and Baizi, Kaido of the Beasts, will definitely make you pay the price. Integrating the geniuses of many supernovas, Kaido of the Beasts was just about to prepare for a battle, but he had already made up his mind on his opponent. He had also heard rumors before that the mysterious man who repelled Whitebeard was the vice guild of the Hunters Guild. If that's the case, then the first battle of Lao Tzu's comeback will be on Prehistoric Island. The order goes on, everyone is ready to start tomorrow and go to Prehistoric Island. Kaido of the Beasts gave an order, and the Kaido of the Beasts pirate group, which had been silent for a long time, fell into a long-lost boiling and noise. Since the last battle at Marineford, their vitality was severely damaged, and everyone was holding their breath. Now that they heard that Whitebeard was disbanded and Sengoku abdicated, they were all motivated, and they were screaming like they had taken medicine. Do a big job. Hey, I can fight right away, my blood is boiling. Yeah, it's been so long, I seem to have forgotten what it's like to fight. That Whitebeard, coward, actually disbanding the pirate group, really threw the faces of the pirates. Prehistoric Island, I heard that there are many prehistoric dinosaurs there. I have never eaten dinosaur meat in my life. Yeah, this trip will definitely do well. Unfortunately, I'm soaring into the sky. It's not. Now our pirate group is hiring people, and this time is an excellent opportunity to show our value. Chapter 187 Wu Rayleigh. Sabayadi Bottom Islands, Shaki Cafe. Aizen, who was Baizi's incarnation, had a very clear goal. Looking at the huge coffee shop sign, Vivi Isho lifted his foot and walked in, just like an ordinary customer. Hello sir, have something to drink. Seeing a guest, Shaki asked politely with a smile. I'm looking for someone. Aizen came to the coffee shop. She looked at Shaki, who had an unclear relationship with Rayleigh. She had to say that she was definitely a rare beauty when she was young. Oh, to whom? When Shaki heard this, she raised her eyes to look at the handsome man opposite her, and then went back to her own business. It was not the first time she had encountered such a situation. Rayleigh. As soon as Aizen said this, Shaki's pretty face changed obviously. I don't know. Yeah, Rayleigh and you have been hiding here since the One Piece King of Pirates Roger was killed. It's been decades, and you and your wife have lived happily ever after. Shaki's eyes flashed coldly. Who are you? Few people know the relationship between the two. Garp also knows about the world except Roger, who died, and she is sure that Garp has nothing to do with it, and it is impossible to tell outsiders about their relationship. Because of this, Shaki was vigilant. This person directly stated her relationship with Rayleigh. Obviously, there is a chance to come here. If it is possible, she doesn't mind letting this person stay in the Sabayati Islands forever. Who is looking for me? The atmosphere suddenly became tense. An old man with glasses and white hair walked in. Shaki saw Rayleigh come in and glanced at Lan Ran. Hey, it's him. Rayleigh, who was looking around, shrank his pupils suddenly when his eyes fell on Aizen. Dangerous. The feeling of extreme danger is coming towards you. This guy is definitely not simple. He has only felt this level of danger on the body of the 4 emperors. After half an hour. Sabayati Bottom Archipelago, one of the little-known islands. Surrounded by Wang Yang, looking at Lei's sight in the distance, he then landed on Aizen. Tell me, what are you looking for? Rayleigh didn't bother, and went straight to ask Aizen. Back then, Rayleigh, the vice captain of the One Piece, king of pirates' right-hand man in the New World, never expected to end his life in this way. What are you trying to say? Hades. Rayleigh heard the words of the blue dye, and had to say that he directly stabbed him in the dead end. I am the vice president of the Hunter Guild. Aizen, the purpose of this trip is to make you the general counselor of my Hunter Guild. Of course, if you insist on a mediocre old age with your wife Shaki, don't tell me. Pluto. Rayleigh's mouth twitched. This guy has been in seclusion for decades, and Rayleigh is indeed a little tired of this day, because this is not his intention at all. If Roger had not been terminally ill and surrendered himself, how could Rayleigh be living in seclusion now? He knew very well that if he hadn't lived in seclusion, he would definitely have become Marine's #1 enemy. Can I ask you why you are like this? This question, I also asked the president before, and I heard that. Don't you think this world only has marine and pirates, and at most, adding a King Shichibukai is not too monotonous? So at the beginning, after the president defeated me with one move, I joined the Hunter Guild and became the vice president of the guild. The half-truth Aizen, with a red face and a heart-stopping voice, sounds like the real thing at first glance. Hearing these words in Rayleigh's ears was like being struck by lightning. The world is too monotonous, and one move defeated the guy in front of him, so how strong is the leader of this Hunter Guild? If you want me to join, I also have to see how strong your Hunter Guild is. If your guild leader can defeat me, then what if I, Rayleigh, join you? Hearing the mysterious president in Aizen's mouth, Rayleigh's heart immediately rose to victory. President. I'm enough to deal with you. Aizen chuckled and looked at Rayleigh. He couldn't call him a non-existent guild leader, but if he couldn't even beat Rayleigh, he wouldn't deserve to be called Aizen of the Death God realm. Really, it's been a long time since a young man spoke to me like this. In that case, look at the trick. Rayleigh, who has 3-color hockey, of course has his own arrogance. Even the 4 emperors dare not speak to him like this. Sound fell, and Rayleigh turned his right hand into a knife and slashed straight towards Aizen. The next moment, the color of the sky changed. The sword power of the top swordsman rose into the sky, and even pushed the 3-color hockey to the extreme, and his attack was once again. It soared a lot, and with the sound of rumbling through the space, Zia appeared in front of Aizen in an instant. Open black lens bracket single shield close black lens bracket. With a low voice, Aizen's right hand directly faced the top swordsman, and there was even a strike from Rayleigh, blessed by 3-color hockey, and the 2 attacks collided instantly. Great Earthquake. Chapter 188. Whitebeard arrives at Prehistoric Island. After the bang, the entire nameless island sank several inches toward the sea, and countless birds, beasts, insects and fish fled in confusion, for fear of being affected by the attack of the 2. Energy, and dust splashed. Wave after wave of air waves turned into circles of ripples centered on the 2 of them, spreading rapidly towards the surroundings. The surrounding trees and grass were directly strangled. They became smashed. Their clothes moved without wind, and when they hit the area, the blue dye didn't move, and the opposite rarely took 2 or 3 steps back. Ha 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 ha, happy. I didn't expect your excellency to be so powerful. In today's world, I am afraid that only Bai-Zi of the Yanwang pirates can match you. Since that's the case, I promise this General Council. Between the words, Rayleigh's eyes flashed with brilliance. Decades have passed, and I wonder if anyone still remembers the former Hades Rayleigh. Knowing that Whitebeard and his party had gone to Prehistoric Island, Pluto Rayleigh looked towards the direction of Prehistoric Island and expressed his deep meaning to Isho. The chairman of the Hunter Guild is really a strange person, and he can bring such a powerful person under his command. Listening to Rayleigh's muttering, Aizen smiled and said nothing. Rayleigh would never know that the president of the Hunter Guild was actually Aizen himself. Later, Aizen also gave Rayleigh a wooden identity card with the Hunters Guild written on the front and the serial number 004 on the back. It seems that my name is quite high. Seeing the serial number, Rayleigh smiled. I am number 002, it will be number 001. As for number 003, Ace has already been sent to Fishman Island. Aizen looked in the direction of Fishman Island, and it seemed that she would return to Fishman Island after this incident. What about Bai-Zi of the Yanwang pirates? I said, how could the guild leader let such a potential stock go unnoticed? It turned out to be well prepared. Rayleigh was not annoyed by his ranking below Bai-Zi. After all, in his opinion, Bai-Zi's future was promising, and it would be a matter of time before he surpassed him. Since I have assumed the position of General Counsel of the Thunderman Guild, and I did not go to Prehistoric Island, I have heard that the 5 emperors, or not, now it should be said that the 4 emperors Kaido of the beasts are heading towards Prehistoric Island, and the Hunters Guild must win. Afterwards, after chatting for a while, the two separated. Bai-Zi returned to the direction of Fishman Island, and Rayleigh and Shaki spent a little while before leaving for the direction of Prehistoric Island. Hey, is the bottom group of Sabayati sleepy? Shaki sighed. She knew too well what Rayleigh wanted. He had been enjoying alcohol all these years, but he was actually shutting down his true self again and again. Since Roger turned himself in and was killed, Rayleigh has faded out of the New World's vision, and Shaki knows that Rayleigh still has a pirate dream in his heart, but now it's just that. The young man named Aizen has awakened his heart in a unique way. That's it. Just that Rayleigh is the General Counsel of the Hunter Guild. I don't know if it's right or wrong. But one thing is certain. That is, for a long time to come, the whole new world will be boiled by the Hunter Guild. Other side, Whitebeard led Marco and the others to Prehistoric Island on the Moby Dick, and of course other members of the Hunter Guild were on board. Among them, it is not the super powerful Devil Fruit, or the top swordsman. It can be said that the Whitebeard pirates are the strongest force so far. Of course, the Whitebeard pirates have been disbanded a few days ago. When everyone came to Prehistoric Island, what caught the eye was the orderly giant clansmen patrolling the island, and in the center of Prehistoric Island stood a behemoth with a height of dozens of meters, and on it was written the Hunter Guild. Headquarters, words, obviously this is their destination. The place to be for a long time to come. Guest Whitebeard, the vice president has already informed us. I really didn't expect you to join us. Welcome to the Hunter Guild. Blue Ogre Dory and the Red Ghost Brigitte came to the island, respectfully and enthusiastically said to Whitebeard. Whitebeard lost the battle, but it was far from what they could compare. After all, the phrase, the strongest man in the world, is not just talking. Isn't this island uploading that there are many prehistoric beasts and dinosaurs, now? Marco looked around, but he didn't find a single beast or dinosaur. That's right. When the vice chairman asked us to build the headquarters, we asked our subordinates to clean up the giant beasts and dinosaurs on Prehistoric Island. Until now, most of the meat of those giant beasts and dinosaurs is still uneaten. The Red Ghost Brigitte haha Isho said heartily. Marco and the others heard these words, the corners of their mouths twitched, and all the giant beasts and dinosaurs on the entire island were wiped out. These giants are really amazing. Chapter 189 Kaido of the Beasts attacks. With Whitebeard and his party settled in the Hunter Guild, the whole prehistoric island became even more lively. Dory and Brigitte were amazed when they saw Whitebeard and his party. They really couldn't imagine what method Aizen-sama had used to get Whitebeard and the others to agree to join their Hunter Guild. To know. Whitebeard is not an ordinary person, that is the existence of the 5 emperors, and is also known as the strongest man in the world. Even if he was defeated at sea by Blackbeard before, people know that it was largely the result of Blackbeard's sneak attack. Whitebeard is praised by people regardless of his popularity or prestige. With his participation, it is definitely the best publicity for the Hunter Guild. Whitebeard immediately gave Marco and the others orders one after another. Since joining the Hunter Guild, they will have a little more restraint from now on. Of course, this restraint is insignificant compared to Blackbeard's retaliation. 2 days passed in the blink of an eye. Knowing this day, a member of the giant family stared at several pirate ships in the distance with a frightened expression on their faces. The ivory horns of the ferocious skeletons shot straight into the sky, followed by rice-shaped skeleton bones. Kaido of the Beasts, that's the pirate ship of Kaido of the Beasts. Immediately, the members of the giants dialed the phone and reported the discovery of the Kaido of the Beasts ship. For a time, the Hunter Guild headquarters was in a commotion. Kaido of the Beasts, are you sure it's him? When Whitebeard heard the news from Blue Ogre Dory, his eyes narrowed slightly. He didn't expect to meet Kaido of the Beasts, who was also the 4 emperors before, just 2 days after coming to Prehistoric Island. For Kaido of the Beasts, although the 3 major disasters and the 6 Sons of the Sky were destroyed before, but after this period of recuperation, coupled with the secret trade with Doflamingo for artificial devil fruits, even if it did not return to its heyday, Chi-Chi was restored. 88. Everyone, get ready to fight. Whitebeard didn't delay, he directly issued the first order as a guest secretary, and the entire prehistoric island moved immediately. This is their first battle, and the opponent is the 4 emperors Kaido of the Beasts, so they can't take it seriously. After all, that's a ruthless character. Prehistoric Island, not far. Above the sea. Captain, it's really exciting to be at Prehistoric Island in a quarter of an hour. Kaido of the Beasts is a supernova who has replaced the position of the fire embers, and his strength is quite terrifying under the transformation of artificial devil fruit. Then go at full speed, I want to see what's so tricky about this Hunter's Guild. Kaido of the Beasts moved his body like a hill, looking towards the prehistoric island. Then what kind of Hunter's Guild is finished? It is said that Doflamingo is also here this time. King Shichibukai's most insidious Doflamingo, is he here too? It's worth watching. It's not. The predecessor of Doflamingo is of Tenryubito's blood. Before that, he was the owner of Mariajoy, but then that guy actually killed his father who gave up his identity as Tenryubito. That pervert is definitely a ruthless character, especially his line fruit is too powerful. Killing his own father with his own hands, his mind has been completely twisted. The many captains and members of Kaido of the Beasts were chattering with excitement, as if they had won this battle. A little while. Whitebeard and others took the Moby Dick and came to the sea, waiting for the arrival of the Kaido of the Beasts pirates. As for the prehistoric island, they would never let Kaido of the Beasts take a step, although Whitebeard knew very well there will definitely be a fierce battle today. Captain, that's Whitebeard. I didn't expect that he has come to Prehistoric Island, it seems to be one step ahead of us. A captain of Kaido of the Beasts, staring ahead with wide eyes, saw the man known as the strongest in the world, and couldn't help screaming. It doesn't matter as soon as this remark is made, the tens of thousands of elites and captains brought by Kaido of the Beasts are all dignified, and it is obvious that Whitebeard's appearance has dealt a great blow to them. The name of a person, the shadow of a tree. In the face of Whitebeard, no one in this world can keep calm. After all, the figure in front of him was as famous as him in Roger's era. Chapter 190 Whitebeard, long time no see. Whitebeard, a respectable and awe-inspiring figure, and an existence that led an era decades ago. After Roger's death, it can be said that Whitebeard became a figure standing at the commanding heights of the pyramid. In this regard, neither Marine nor the pirates at the time had the slightest objection. The many members of the pirate group of Kaido of the Beasts who were in a state of excitement were like a basin of cold water being thrown down. What did I hear? Whitebeard, he came to Prehistoric Island. What's so strange about this? After all, the Whitebeard pirates have been disbanded, and their core members, including Whitebeard, have all become members of the Hunter Guild. Mad, I really lost the face of our pirates. Bah, what kind of thing? The strongest man, such a weak chicken. It's still our captain who is great, then why Whitebeard is dead today? Kill Whitebeard's squad leader, he, leave the unfinished work of Blackbeard teach to the Kaido of the Beasts pirates. Quietly, all kinds of sounds, such as howling, fear, and so on, rose and rose above the sea, and with the noise of the crowd, the atmosphere at the scene became more and more depressed, giving people a feeling of rain and wind filling the building. Whitebeard, you have disappointed me so much. Kaido of the Beasts saw his old opponent, Whitebeard, with ridicule and disdain in his eyes. When he heard the news that Whitebeard had disbanded his pirate group and joined the Hunters Guild, he thought he had heard it wrong, until it was finally confirmed that he couldn't believe it. After all, how could a person as arrogant as Whitebeard be subservient to others? In his opinion, Whitebeard is the kind of person who would rather die standing than live on his knees. To be honest, until now, when he saw Whitebeard appearing in front of him, he couldn't accept it. This was the strongest opponent he had always thought. Of course, he was disappointed by such a performance. As soon as Kaido of the Beasts said this, the surrounding captains and subordinates also looked at Whitebeard with a playful look. Presumptuous. Dare to do this to Dad. Blue flame blast. Marco's face was gloomy and cold, and the terrifying blue flames rose up around him. His figure flashed, and he reappeared and turned into a blue phoenix to attack Kaido of the Beasts. Bold. Took the place of the previous flame calamity, immediately wiped the sole of his foot, and instantly punched Marco with a fierce punch. Between the two, it was as if a cannonball exploded in situ, and endless waves of air overflowed. The sea water is boiling and tumbling as if boiling. Both their clothes were moving without the wind, and after a blow, Marco took 5 or 6 steps back, and the one on the opposite side. Kaido of the Beasts' captain only took 2 or 3 steps back. Obviously the man on the opposite side was more than a few steps back. Marco's strength is even stronger by 1 point. Seeing this scene, Foil Vista, Doribridge and others immediately turned pale. They knew Marco's strength too well, and because of this, they were worried about the next battle, because besides him, Kaido of the Beasts, the strength of the others was far beyond their expectations. Misfortunes don't come singly. In this room, a playful voice came from the distant sea area. Yee, I didn't expect it to be quite lively here. Whitebeard, long time no see. Chapter 191_Hades Rayleigh now. Prehistoric Island, above the sea. Whitebeard, long time no see. With the frivolous sound, it pierced the air and floated in the air, and everyone's eyes were looking towards the direction of the sound source. The captains and members of Kaido of the Beasts all looked overjoyed when they saw the people who came. Doflamingo, Shichibukai Doflamingo. Ha ha ha, it's Master Doflamingo, this is it, Whitebeard is dead. I have a feeling that we're going to create a miracle today. Hey, it's a blessing to be able to witness the fall of the strongest man in the world today, enough to brag about it for half a year. Wait for a good show. If Whitebeard doesn't die today, I'll pull out my eyeballs and kick it as a ball. Now we're doing a miracle, how exciting. Scene, Kaido of the Beasts, men burst into an uproar, while on the other side Marco and others, including Whitebeard, all looked gloomy and gloomy. Although Doflamingo is the king's Shichibukai, it is conservatively estimated that his strength is at least in the Great Sword and the Eagle. A level of even more powerful than Hawkeye. And Doflamingo's thread fruit has been awakened several times, and Marine has listed him as the most variable among the King Shichibukai. Not only that, but this time, Doflamingo did not come alone, but came with the most senior cadre of the family, among them Virgo, Shenshionka, Diamante and so on. It can be said that Doflamingo's senior cadres are no weaker than Whitebeard's squad leader, and the more than a dozen he has brought this time are not too big. Dory and Brigitte looked at Kaido and Doflamingo, the beasts in the field, which were legends for them. The existence that was said to have appeared in front of their eyes now. Visual impact followed immediately. Their hearts began to beat violently, for no other reason, because the legendary existences of the two parties here are their enemies. As for their side, there is only Whitebeard's side, and the disadvantage is obvious. Could it be that their hunter guild is going to suffer a great disaster today? Where is the vice chairman? If you don't show up, the hunter guild will be over. You are really interested to come to my hunter guild as a guest. As the general advisor of the hunter guild, I would like to thank you two here. Just when Dory and Brigitte were full of worry, a voice came from afar, and the next moment, they saw an old man with white hair and a man with glasses appearing in the arena. Who are you? Doflamingo looked up and down. The old man who suddenly appeared, because he felt the extreme danger from the old man's body, and his intuition was always accurate. You are Rayleigh. Whitebeard's eyes twinkled when he saw the person coming. He heard the right words just now. This guy said that he was the general counselor of the Hunter Guild. If that was the case, it was just that he couldn't think of where the vice chairman Aizen was located. How to make this old thing come out? The king of Pluto, Rayleigh, as the deputy captain of the Roger Pirates, is second only to Roger in strength, and has deduced the existence of the three-color hockey to the peak. It can be said that even Whitebeard is not fully sure to win this person. Call. Pluto Rayleigh, I didn't expect that even you joined the Hunters Guild. I'm more and more curious about that. The vice chairman named Aizen has even recruited you. Kaido of the Beasts' face finally turned solemn. It seemed that the Hunter Guild was going to have two strokes. Chapter 192 Tsunade Admiral V's Teach, First Encounter. Pluto Rayleigh. As soon as these words came out, Doflamingo's face was as ugly as a pig's liver. Although he had never seen the person in front of him, he had heard the name of the Pluto Rayleigh a long time ago, to be precise when he was a child. Pluto Rayleigh, when Roger was still alive, as Roger's deputy captain, a very terrifying existence with strength and intelligence. It can be said that Roger was able to become One Piece King of Pirates, and Rayleigh contributed greatly. It is precisely because Roger's reputation is so loud that many people ignore such a ruthless man beside him. Rayleigh's appearance makes the situation on the field more and more delicate. Gia, there are a lot of people today. Finally, in this room, another big man came to the arena. This person was none other than the Blackbeard Pirates Teach, who possessed the Dark Fruit and Soul Fruit, and his subordinates. I didn't expect that in the last battle with Whitebeard, you disbanded the pirate group, hehe. But you really thought that if you climbed to the Hunter Guild, I would let you go. Stop dreaming, today is your doom. He came to the arena. Blackbeard did not shy away, and pointed his finger directly at Whitebeard. Although the Whitebeard pirates were hit hard in the last battle, he was also motivated, and half of the cadres died. Blackbeard Teach. That wounded Whitebeard and almost destroyed the 4 emperors of the Whitebeard pirates. Kaido of the Beasts and Doflamingo were relieved to see Teach appear, but thinking about it, Teach would not miss it so well a chance against Whitebeard. Pluto Rayleigh, your name is like thunder, but I advise you not to interfere in this matter today, or your old bones will be broken. Here. As soon as Teach said this, tens of thousands of members of Kaido of the Beasts gasped. Threat. Red Guguo's threat. The other party is Rayleigh. Hearing Teach's words, Rayleigh hummed Isho. I didn't expect that I, Rayleigh, didn't ask about world affairs for decades, and now I am looked down upon by a junior. Today, I want to see how you keep my old bones here. Really? Teach sneered, and the dark black thunder attacked Rayleigh in an instant, and the speed was as fast as blinking an eye, obviously aiming to kill Rayleigh. Really underestimated. Open black lens bracket Rokushiki, 6 styles armament close black lens bracket. Rayleigh could make his move. A sound came from in front of Rayleigh, and the next moment, a rumbling sound rose up in the field. There was a shadow in front of Rayleigh. This is Marine Tsunade Vice Admiral. No, it's Tsunade Admiral. Dory Brigitte, eyes widened, staring at the ant beauty who appeared in front of Rayleigh. The aftermath of that devastating punch just sent chills down their backs. Marine. And it's the newly promoted Tsunade Admiral. The sudden appearance of Tsunade greatly exceeded everyone's expectations. Rayleigh looked at Tsunade thoughtfully. Whitebeard was stunned for a moment. Kaido of the Beasts and Doflamingo were all dumbfounded. Especially Blackbeard Teach. When he saw Marine Tsunade Admiral who was suddenly killed, he was immediately stunned. What is the situation? This and that. How can the strength of the girl be so strong? She can block herself with brute force alone. Double Devil Fruit. If you want to deal with the Hunter Guild, pass me first. Chapter 193 _ The situation changes again. If you want to deal with the Hunter Guild, pass me first. The cold voice pierced through the silent sea and floated on the scene. Everyone's ears were like the magic sound of MIMI floating from the sky. Marine Tsunade Admiral. With such an identity, he blatantly protected the Hunter Guild. Such a move was beyond everyone's expectations, but they knew how. When Baizi subdued Dory and Brigitte, he called Tsunade and asked him to pay attention. The trend of the Hunter Guild, at the critical moment, do not hesitate to shoot directly, and also gave her a Hunter Guild identity card 005. That's right, it's number 5. This is Marine's newly promoted Tsunade Admiral. She is so powerful, she chooses to take action here, isn't it? Thinking of a certain possibility, the figure of Aizen couldn't help but come to mind. Could it be that this person was attracted like himself? If so, then Aizen is terrible. Big Jong from Marine Headquarters, let him join the Hunter Guild directly. If Whitebeard and himself are added, the crisis might be resolved today. Kaido of the Beasts, Blackbeard Teach and King Shichibukai Doflamingo attack at the same time. If their Hunter Guild can resist, they will definitely become famous in one fell swoop. Open black lens bracket 5 color lines close black lens bracket. Doflamingo's face was gloomy. He never expected that Marine would join them. He had to hit them hard in the shortest possible time. In the next instant, Doflamingo appeared again, and he had come to Whitebeard's side, and his ability to line and fruit directly unfolded. Under observation Haki, Whitebeard of course discovered Doflamingo's sneak attack, and was about to react immediately, and just as Whitebeard was about to react, the sound of snoring came, and in the next instant, a knife cut with Doflamingo's 5-colored line. Together. The retreat of both sides was a huge retreat of more than 10 meters, the energy dissipated, and everyone's eyes looked over, and this look, everyone's expressions became colorful. It was a blind man holding a katana sword, who just took the samurai sword back from its scabbard and stood still. Old man, Fujitora Isho, was ordered by the captain to come and help the Hunters Guild. The first sentence of Fujitora Isho's appearance shocked everyone except Rayleigh and Tsunade. Can be called a captain by Fujitora Isho, it must be Baizi, the captain of the Yanwang pirates who cut off an arm of the original 4 Emperor Charlotte Linlin. The subordinate of the bastard will die. The enemy is extremely jealous when he meets the enemy. Kaido, the beast, sees Fujitora Isho, and the encounter of the 3 disasters immediately stimulates him greatly. Open black lens bracket armament Qinglong Claw close black lens bracket. Without further ado, Kaido of the Beasts goes straight to Fujitora Isho. A claw attacked it. Its speed was as fast as thunder, and it came in an instant. Open black lens bracket gravity rebound close black lens bracket. Under the guidance of Baizi, Fujitora Isho became more and more skilled in the use of gravity fruits. Kaido of the Beasts was 3 fingers away from Fujitora Isho, and was bounced out by the powerful reaction force, and he retreated a full inch. 5 or 6 steps. On the other hand, Fujitora Isho's complexion Vivi was a little pale. After all, the opponent is Kaido of the Beasts, one of the 4 emperors, that attack power is not that easy to resist. One blow, it was clear that Fujitora Issho was in a weak position, and even so, the record here shocked everyone. Who is Kaido of the beasts? That is the incomparably powerful 4 emperors. Fujitora Issho is just a deputy captain of Baizi, and he can barely compete with him. Such a scene is too unexpected. Kill. Get everyone on me, kill everyone. Blackbeard Teach with a cold face immediately ordered many of his subordinates to attack Whitebeard. Today, so many people finally came. If they do nothing, they will definitely become the laughingstock of the whole new world. HMPH, when I don't exist. Tsunade snorted coldly, and immediately the 9-tailed demon fox on his shoulder disappeared from his shoulder in an instant, and the next moment appeared above the sea. Ow! The incomparable airwaves are overflowing, and the sea water is all windless and set off waves and waves. A cadre of Blackbeard Teach, and the speed appeared in front of the cadre in an instant. Before he could react, he was directly beaten into a meat sauce by a claw of the 9-tailed demon fox. Fallen. Fuck, what a fierce demon fox. Scary, so scary. Dory Brigi looked at the 9-tailed demon fox who was not much taller than them. In front of this behemoth, they completely turned into ants. It was unbelievable that the previous small body was so big. Is this the reinforcement that their vice president, Aizen-sama, brought in? It's powerful, too powerful. It turns out that Marine Tsunade Admiral's strength is so strong. It should be her pet, and even one attack will kill the 4 emperors. A core cadre of Blackbeard Teach was killed. When Marco and the others saw Blackbeard Teach's subordinates being killed, their hearts were filled with excitement, because their squad leader had been killed by those people several times before, and now they were very relieved to see them suffer retribution. Chapter 194 _9-tailed fox berserk. Rayleigh's heart skipped a beat when he saw it. He never imagined that the pet demon fox beside Tsunade was so powerful. It was him who felt the danger to the extreme from this 9-tailed demon fox. Imagine what method the Vice President Aizen used to convince such an existence before. Such power is absolutely devastating. Fujitora Issho, who was enveloped by observation haki, also twitched his mouth. Obviously, what happened in the field had a huge impact on him. The impact is also huge. One who can keep calm in the field. After all, only she knows that the 9-tailed demon fox is not. What kind of pet is she? In their world, this is a ferocious tailed beast. If it weren't for Lord Baizi conquer it, and the world here will be turbulent because of it. Ah, Captain, save me. When everyone sighed with emotion, another cadre of Teach was harvested by the 9-tailed demon fox and stepped into the footsteps of the previous man with a scream. Bastard! Beast, you are courting death. Blackbeard Teach's eyes were cracked, and 2 capable cadres were killed one after another, which made his anger soar to the extreme. Fire in the sky. The attack of Blackbeard Teach, and once again integrated the ability of the dark fruit. The strange black fire overwhelmingly rolled towards the 9-tailed demon fox. The 9-tailed pupils shrank, obviously feeling the extreme threat from it, and immediately a tailed beast bullet burst out, instantly smashing with the overwhelming fire from the sky. Of rumbling thunder and tremors exploded from the field, this thunder and tinnitus bursts, and everyone felt that their minds went blank. Open black lens bracket thunder close black lens bracket. Just after the 9-tailed demon fox released the tailed beast bomb, when it was sluggish, Blackbeard Teach was not idle, and immediately attacked the 9-tailed demon fox again with another attack, and the endless thunder instantly slammed into the 9-tailed demon fox thousands of feet above the body. Just when everyone thought that Tsunade would make a move, they found that Tsunade's face was flat, and there was no sign of wanting to make a move. This woman is so ruthless. Her pet is beaten like this, and it's like nothing else. Isn't she worried at all? Ow. Under the severe pain, the 9-tailed demon fox went straight into the berserk mode. The original body of 1,000 feet was shrunk in half to more than 500 feet in an instant. In the field instantly attracted Rayleigh and others. This demon fox's aura has become so strong, this posture seems to be violent. Exclamation mark quote. The corners of Rayleigh's eyes twitched, thinking of Tsunade's calm appearance just now, and his heart was a little clear. My God, what did I see? That Tsunade Admiral's demon fox has become stronger again. Yeah, it's so scary. Blackbeard's lightning strike might have made the demon fox angry. Unbelievable, unbelievable, Tsunade Admiral's demon fox strength is so terrifying, it's terrifying. When did Marine Admiral's comprehensive strength become so strong? Fuck, look at you, that demon fox is going mad again. Moment, the nine-tailed demon fox in rage, instantly carrying the energy of destroying the sky and destroying the earth, moved towards Blackbeard Teach and killed the past. Ah no. Bastard, give me death. A famous cadre was slapped into meat sauce by the wrath of the nine-tailed demon fox. Although Blackbeard did not care about the lives of his opponents, it was on the basis of his own interests. Now there are 4 cadres who have died and been injured by this demon fox. 4 has already caught up with the damage from the previous battle with Whitebeard. Bang! How could the nine-tailed demon fox pay any attention to Teach? Very insidiously avoided Teach's attack, and then headed towards the porcelain doll-like Cadre Lang, who was attacked and killed like a flock of sheep. 5 people 5, 6 people 6. After a short while, 8 of Teach's cadres died, and the remaining cadres retreated back and forth, fearing that they would follow in the footsteps of other cadres, and Teach's face was full of gloomy bleeding. He never imagined that it would end up like this. Presumptuous. Teach was immediately angry, and the dark red Conqueror Haki burst open. He has always kept his Conqueror Haki well hidden, and no one has ever discovered it, but at this moment, he has raised the top Conqueror Haki to the top. Such a move shocked everyone. Blackbeard Teach actually owns the top Conqueror Haki. This is completely inconsistent with Teach's insidious, cunning and cautious mentality. Kaido of the Beasts, Doflamingo, do you want to wait until I've finished fighting before shooting? I'm afraid then you won't get better either. Between the words, Teach's eyes aimed at the subordinates behind the two. The meaning was too obvious. They may be able to leave safely, but their subordinates will not be so easy. In particular, if this demon fox attacks them, the consequences are definitely not what they are willing to bear. Chapter 195 Rayleigh vs. Kaido of the Beasts. Teach's almost roaring voice came to Kaido of the Beasts and Doflamingo's ears, and their expressions changed instantly. Because Teach is right, when the nine-tailed fox recovers, their end will come. And at that time, it was definitely not what they wanted to see. Since it was so, shut. The two looked at each other, and Chi-Chi was about to take action towards the nine-tailed demon fox, wanting to obliterate this change as soon as possible. When I don't exist, give me back. Whitebeard slashed towards Doflamingo with a single blow, and instantly forced Doflamingo back. The Doflamingo family behind him were all in the thousands, because they knew that Doflamingo was not Whitebeard's opponent. After all, that was the existence of the 4 emperors. Is not at all comparable to Shichibukai, although Doflamingo is the most mysterious of Shichibukai. Hehe, Kaido of the Beasts, I really didn't expect that the genius at the beginning has grown into the existence of the 4 emperors. Today, I will let this old man come to test the teaching. Rayleigh, you really want to be my enemy. Kaido of the Beasts, who was going to shoot, heard Rayleigh's words and stopped his rushing thoughts abruptly. The name of the Pluto Rayleigh, when he was still unknown, had already resounded through the whole new world. As Roger's deputy captain, his strength and wisdom have been the best evidence of danger is even higher than that of the 4 emperors, so he has no choice but to pay attention to it. Rayleigh did not speak with a genial smile, but proved his decision with his actions, raising his foot to block Kaido of the Beasts' path. Come on, let me see how far you have grown over the years. Since you insist on blocking me, don't blame me for being rude. Open black lens bracket blue dragon change dragon close black lens bracket. Sing. Sound fell behind, and Kaido of the Beasts disappeared from the field, replaced by a cyan dragon that soared in the air, swirling in the air and soaring. Turn into a dragon. It's interesting. It seems that the old man is going to slaughter the dragon today. Li Jingmeng flashed. His right hand turned into a knife, and immediately slashed towards the giant dragon in the sky. Roar! Huge dragon that covered the sky faced Rayleigh's domineering hard steel, and instantly grabbed the broken blade with the cyan dragon claw, and then carried the attack of tearing the air, and slammed it towards Rayleigh with one claw. Facing the blow of the huge blue dragon, Rayleigh remained motionless, the corners of his mouth curled up. Armament Hockey lifted his arm, the wrist, and then spread to the entire fist. It was just such a plain punch, just like the normal movement of muscles and bones. However, it was such a punch and the giant blue dragon claws collided in an instant, and the incomparable wind swept several meters away in an instant, with the two as the center. The waves spread. Rayleigh took more than 10 steps back. As for Kaido of the Beasts, who turned into a blue dragon in the air, he was directly smashed and flew more than 10 feet away. With such a blow, everyone's expressions changed, and the eyes they looked at Rayleigh changed. Only the strength of the flesh can compete with Kaido of the Beasts, who is incarnated as a blue dragon. Is this the Pluto Rayleigh? That was the king of Hades, Rayleigh, when he was young, but he was no less than Whitebeard's existence. It's just that Roger was too popular at the time, so Rayleigh didn't make many shots. It's so terrifying attack power that it smashed Kaido of the Beasts into the air with one punch. This is simply a humanoid monster. And, have you noticed, they haven't used Conqueror Hockey yet? I'm afraid the current attack is just a test between the two. Try it. The temptation alone is so strong. If there is a real fight, the scene can't be imagined. Open black lens bracket dragon breath close black lens bracket. Kaido of the Beasts, who finally took off in the sky, doesn't want to delay any longer, and must end the battle with Rayleigh as soon as possible, so that they can achieve their goal of destroying the Hunter Guild and killing Whitebeard today. Open black lens bracket Bakwan close black lens bracket. Facing the dragon breath of Kaido of the Beasts, Rayleigh didn't react too much, and still punched it directly, but compared with the previous punch, this punch was faster, more powerful, and more lethal. Wherever the attack passed, the space was distorted and changed. The two attacks instantly touched together. At that moment, the whole world seemed to stop at this moment, as if the two exploded together, terrifying to the extreme. The sound was like the night of pouring rain, the endless thunder from the sky, and some weak pirates were shocked to the point of bleeding. The attack was too intense, completely beyond their understanding. At the same time, the eyes of everyone looking at Rayleigh, the Hades, also underwent earth-shaking changes, and at the same time, they had a new understanding of this old man who had been hidden for decades. There is no devil fruit. Just like the red-haired Shanks of the Four Emperors, he interprets the two-color hockey to the extreme, and Rayleigh, the king of the underworld, is still a great swordsman. Planting level. Chapter 196_Victory over the three parties. Three-way war. Above the sea, the waves were turbulent, and the three-party battle groups were full of energy, and the power of destroying the world was frequently used. The most unlucky ones were the Blackbeard pirates. Under the madness of the nine-tailed demon fox, he watched helplessly as the core combat power of his subordinates fell one by one. His eyes were red. The strength of this beast is far beyond his imagination, and now Kaido of the Beasts and Doflamingo are both restrained by the front. I am afraid that his forces will be defeated in the long run, and at that time, withdraw. Retreat. Teach, who took a blow from the nine-tailed demon fox and almost vomited blood, opened his throat and howled at his subordinates. He couldn't bear such a loss. Ah! Just when Teach ordered to retreat, another scream came, and it was no surprise that another cadre of Blackbeard Teach was killed by the nine-tailed demon fox. Bastard! Everyone withdraw from me! A thunderbolt forced the nine-tailed demon fox back temporarily. Blackbeard Teach led a group of his subordinates and fled this place of right and wrong in a hurry. If it continued like this, he was afraid that he would become a bear commander. The nine-tailed demon fox's eyes flashed with humanistic disdain, and with a flash, he reappeared and came to the range of many high-level officials behind Doflamingo. Not good. The demon fox is coming towards us. Flash quickly. No. One encounter, Doflamingo's top cadres were beaten twice, and Doflamingo, who was being suppressed in all directions by Whitebeard, sank. Damn teach. Everyone, withdraw. Situation is not good. Doflamingo is not a fool. This time he never expected that the Hunter Guild would be able to unite so many masters, and the most hateful one. Tsunade Admiral's beast actually attacked him under King Shichibukai. This time back, he must ask Marine for an explanation. He glared at Tsunade angrily, his eyes full of killing intent without concealing. Tsunade Admiral, I remember you. Offend me Doflamingo, I'm dead. Is it? Who was standing on his body, disappeared in a flash, and reappeared before Doflamingo, without any fancy movements. Rokushiki, 6 styles 100 heroes technique. The strange force Tsunade directly attached armament haki to use the 100 heroes technique. He directly slammed into Doflamingo, who had just finished speaking harshly. Rumble, not good. The sound of smashing the air instantly approached. How did Doflamingo never expect Tsunade to shoot directly, and it was a big move when he came up. Just as his hands were about to resist, he was directly smashed by Tsunade's punch, and his arms were broken, and then the terrifying energy slammed into his mouth again. The sound of more than a dozen bone cracks instantly came from Doflamingo's hands and Shang's mouth, and the crisp sound made everyone's back go cold for a while. Brother Doflamingo was directly smashed into a serious injury, and a fountain of blushing blood gushed out of his mouth. The moment he was hit, Doflamingo quickly repaired the injury with thread and fruit. Went up. Master, are you all right? Withdraw. Quickly withdraw. Doflamingo's many high-level cadres looked at Marine's newly promoted Tsunade Admiral with fearful expressions. Such strength far exceeded their imagination. This bitch, literally Marine's second Momoshiki Admiral, is horrible. Short time. The entire sea, apart from the Hunters Guild, the only one left is Kaido of the Beasts. In the aftermath of the battle between the two, Kaido of the Beasts' men also lost a lot, and Marco and others were not idle. Kaido of the Beasts looked gloomy and cold. Of course he knew that without Doflamingo and Teach, it would be difficult for him to achieve anything by himself. Under the balance, his breathtaking eyes flashed with a strong unwillingness. Withdraw. Order. Many of the subordinates who had no fighting spirit for a long time, turned their heads and ran away, wishing they had longer legs. The scene was as embarrassing as it was embarrassing. Dory and Brigitte of the giant clan were immediately stunned, and the other giant clan were also stunned, staring at one after another of the hottest beings in the New World. Whitebeard, Rayleigh, Fujitora Isho, Tsunade Admiral, Marco, Foil Vista are all members of their Hunter Guild. Suddenly, their Hunter Guild has become so powerful. Just 4 emperors, 1 King Shichibukai at the same time. The troubles came to an end, and it ended like this. Everything was like a dream, and they never even dreamed of this outcome. As the first to join the Hunter Guild, Dory and Brigitte, at this moment, both of them felt inexplicable pride, and they were even more attached to the Hunter Guild. Feeling soaring. However, seeing the numerous forces from all sides, Rayleigh was also filled with emotion. Although he did not know how Aizen did it, the facts were in front of him. I'm very curious, what is the sacredness of the vice president of Aizen, and even Tsunade Admiral was drawn over by him, and the strength he showed during this period was no worse than Kuzan Kizaru, or even stronger than them. After all, don't forget that she also has a pet, a being enough to repel Blackbeard Teach. Chapter 197 Tsunade Promise. Above the sea, return to calm. 3 seconds 3, 5 seconds, 10 seconds 1. It lasted for more than 10 seconds, and a cold sea breeze was blowing head on. The scene appeared in their minds like a movie. Win we win. It's incredible, Kaido of the Beasts, Blackbeard Teach, and Doflamingo came at the same time, and we were beaten back. Yeah, until now I've been dreaming and can't believe what I've seen. Furthermore, That, Tsunade Admiral, S pet is so powerful that the core combat power of Teach-in Deferin was directly beaten. Hey, Marine Admiral has become our person. First think Marine will dare to target us in the future. That's right, I don't know what the Vice Chairman used to make Tsunade Admiral join our Hunter Guild. It's not, and her number is still 005, so amazing. Speaking of which, Fujitora Isho, the deputy captain of the Four Emperors by Z, had a blow with Brother Doflamming before, and he didn't shoot the whole battle. It's not because there are too many experts on our side, and we don't need Fujitora Isho-sama to shoot at all. For a time, everyone in the field started chattering, and looking at Tsunade, their eyes were full of envy and admiration. Hee, really, long time no see. Repel the enemy, especially seeing the heavy casualties of Blackbeard Teach. Whitebeard was in a good mood, he laughed heartily at Rayleigh who appeared, and the extremely contagious sound waves spread out, making the original surprised atmosphere eased many. Yeah, it's been almost 10 years, and it's gone so fast. Looking at Whitebeard with white hair and beard, Rayleigh was also full of emotion. The young and frivolous hair-headed boy at the time, both of them became old people. If they were ordinary people, their grandsons would be in their teens. Time flies, thoughts fly. The two meet again, as if the Roger era happened yesterday, and then the entire group entered Prehistoric Island, an island swept by the giants. The giants on the entire island, one by one the huge eyes looked at the ants-like group of people, and the hill-like body was trembling with excitement. Although these people are very small, they are not worth mentioning in front of them, but when it comes to strength, any of them is not worth mentioning. Anyone can kill them. Someone. And they are just bigger. As the General Counsel, Rayleigh sat in the first seat, looked at the field, and smiled at Tsunade. Tsunade Admiral, to be honest, I can't believe Aizen-sama now. I invited you all, and Fujitora Isho, thanks to you this time. You, welcome, General Counsel, I'm here by order of our captain. Fujitora Isho sat on the seat and said with a drink. Entrusted by others, loyal to others. Since you have joined the Hunter Guild, I can temporarily guarantee that you will no longer be targeted by Marine. Tsunade smiled and said, since Master Baizi is the third strong man in the Hunter Guild, this is also the power of Master in a certain way, so Tsunade will naturally not let Marine harass him. Oh. With Tsunade Admiral's words, I can rest assured. Hearing Tsunade's words, the one who was most moved was none other than Whitebeard. Now Marine can be said to be in full swing, completely unlike the era of Sengoku's leadership. Today's Marine powerhouses are emerging in large numbers, and Kuzan-Kizaru is being chased by newcomers one after another. Now, without Marine's targeting, their lives would be much better. And most importantly, now that Tsunade Admiral has joined them, in a sense, Marine will not only be not their enemy, but likely to be their friend and helper. This was something they didn't dare to think about before. It's just that everyone looked at the nine-tailed demon fox in the minibar nestled on Tsunade's shoulder, and their eyes were full of fear, but other than that, there were more. But it is fortunate that the Tsunade in front of him is not an enemy, but their companion. Otherwise, just that pet is enough for them to eat a pot. Ha ha ha, happy, today is really happy. Yeah, you didn't see how ugly the faces of Teach and Doflamingo were at that time. That is, if they don't retreat, I am afraid they will eventually become leverage commanders. After today's battle, our Hunter Guild will definitely be famous in the New World as soon as possible. Hey, that is, this is not all of our strength. The Four Emperors by Z didn't come, and there are all his super strong subordinates. If all of them came, the scene would be truly terrifying. The most correct thing I did in my life was to join the Hunter Guild. Damn, let's not talk about it, come and drink. Chapter 198_World Friar. Of the Hunter Guild is staggered, and the atmosphere is very peaceful. This day is destined to be a day in the history books. After half a day. Marine Headquarters, Marineford. Marine Admiral Office, the current Marine Admiral Momoshige is dealing with various things handed over by Sengoku, most of which are related to pirates. But these are not what she cares most about. What she cares most about is cultivating her own power, and then pulling the noble Tenryubito of Mariajoy down from the altar. This is the goal she has been working hard for. From the beginning as Marine Admiral, to meeting Baizi, and the agreement reached with Baizi on the island, until today, Momoshige has not forgotten. Momoshige, who was dealing with affairs on Bilibili, the phone worm beside him rang, and he picked up the phone. Everything is normal, right? Okay, then go with the plan. A few simple words, he hung up the phone. Momoshige breathed a sigh of relief. The other end of the call was not someone else, it was Tsunade who had killed the quartet on Prehistoric Island before. Of course she knew, and based on this, the two of them planned a series of plans. These plans are either aimed at targeting the Tenryubito, or to increase their prestige in the marine. After all, taking Tenryubito from Mariajoy down is not that simple, it must be done without fail. Hanging up the phone, Momoshige issued an order to let people spread the word about what happened on Prehistoric Island, and her purpose is to make the new world chaotic. Only in chaos can there be more opportunities. The matter of Prehistoric Island soon spread in Marineford, Marine. Countless marine elites are boiling. Hey, have you heard that Prehistoric Island has become an organization called the Hunter Guild? Of course I heard, it is said that our newly promoted Tsunade Admiral has joined. That's right, and just half a day ago, it was said that the four emperors Kaido of the Beasts, Blackbeard Teach, and King Shichibukai Doflamingo were also targeting the Hunter Guild, intending to destroy them, but the final result was shocking. Yeah, in the end, it was our Tsunade Admiral, or to be precise, Tsunade Admiral's pet of the nine-tailed demon fox, who turned the tide of the battle and forcibly killed Teach and Dofron's core forces, with even more casualties. Countless. What's more, it is said that Tsunade Admiral severely injured Dover with one punch, and he hasn't recovered yet. I can't. Doflamingo can be the fruit of the thread, and has three-color hockey. Such an existence will be instantly killed by Tsunade Admiral. What do you know, it's a spike, and there are tricks involved. After all, at that time, Doflamingo didn't expect Tsunade's love to suddenly shoot. What happened at Prehistoric Island pushed the one peak after another. Not only Tsunade Admiral, Pluto Rayleigh, Whitebeard and Fujitora Isho were also put on the agenda by the Marines, and began to overwhelming wind reviews. For a time, the incident of the Prehistoric Island Kaido of the Beasts, Blackbeard Teach and Shichibukai Doflamingo being tragically hit by Waterloo, spread to the whole world like a plague. There was an uproar from all sides. Redford. The red-haired Ben Beckman and the others all gathered around, looking at the newspaper on the deck. Captain Rayleigh has become the general counselor of the Hunters Guild. Shanks saw Rayleigh in the newspaper, and the corners of his mouth curled into a long-lost arc. How many years later, the deputy captain did not expect to come out again. It's unbelievable. Captain Rayleigh was invited out by the Hunters Guild, that. How did Aizen do it? Ben Beckman smoked a cigar and muttered to himself. He still knew about Rayleigh's temperament. If it were not for his strength and temperament, Rayleigh would never be like this. It seems that Captain Rayleigh is not willing to grow old like this. The red-haired Shanks looked towards the Prehistoric Island. Looks like it's time to go to the white direction, our Captain Rayleigh. Scoff. Space fluctuated, and a figure appeared out of thin air on Shanks' deck. Who? Ben Beckman's face was solemn, and he looked at the person who suddenly appeared on the deck with vigilance for the first time. What should come will come eventually. Shanks looked up and down. Someone came. If I expected it right, you should be the vice president of the Hunter Guild, Aizen. Vice chairman of the Hunter Guild, Aizen. As soon as Shanks said this, many cadres and members on the entire deck were shocked. Their scalps felt numb. Weren't they still discussing this matter just now? How did this guy show up? I don't know. There are no ships around our ship. Could it be flying over? A devil fruit-capable person, such a terrifying strength, appeared on our deck, and we didn't even notice it at all. What is he doing here? Is he going to war with us? It shouldn't be. If he wants to kill us, he doesn't need to show up at all. That's right. Listening to Shanks' complaints and looking at familiar faces one after another, Eisen said with a smile, "Are you interested in joining the Hunters Guild?" Of course, Shanks would love to. Hearing Eisen's invitation, Shanks agreed without hesitation and joined the Hunter Guild, which would benefit them without harm. Shanks was not a fool, how could he miss such a good thing? More importantly, I haven't seen Captain Rayleigh for a long time, and this is a gift to him. Chapter 199 _ Mysterious Man appears. About half an hour later, Shanks returned to the Redford ship and looked at the direction where Eisen disappeared in the distance. Shanks, how is Eisen's strength? Seeing Shanks coming back, Ben Beckman stepped forward and asked curiously. As soon as Ben Beckman said this, the surrounding cadres and the crew of the Red Force stopped their work one by one. Their eyes fell on their captain, and they listened, not for a moment. Because they, like Ben Beckman, also wanted to know the result of the battle between the captain and the vice president of the Hunter Guild just now. Even though they were far apart, they could still feel the destructive battle on the small island, and when they returned from the captain, their breath was slightly disordered. Obviously, that person named Eisen was very powerful. Just now, the two came to fight on the trail, and the whole island was sunk by the aftermath of the two. At this moment, the island has been submerged by the sea, all of which proves what kind of shocking battle took place there just now. Hee, that person's strength is far beyond my imagination. I'm not his opponent. Shanks shook his head bitterly and thought of the last blow of the two at that time. If Eisen didn't stop at that time, he would definitely die. Moreover, Shanks knew very clearly that an attack like Eisen was far from the limit for him. No wonder that even Rayleigh couldn't help but come out. I am afraid he also took a fancy to Eisen's strength against the sky. In the near future, the whole new world will also set off a new era due to the Hunter Guild. The Hunter Guild will start a prosperous era of great chaos. At the same time, not far from the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army, another major event is happening. The reason for the incident begins with the Revolutionary Army leader Long leading a team to liberate a country. After the Revolutionary Army leader Long liberated the country, he spent several days rectifying on the island. The entire island country was covered, and everyone looked at the sky in horror. Because there is the source of endless coercion, and then a man in a black noble cheongsam appeared in the air and stood in the sky. Looking at the ant-like look, looking at the small island people and the Revolutionary Army. Many elites of the Revolutionary Army looked solemn when they saw the sudden appearance of the strong man. Damn, what a terrifying coercion, who? Bastard, could it be Eisen from the Hunter Guild? No, this dress is completely dyed with indigo. This person is not a good person, and it is very likely that he is coming for our Revolutionary Army. Who are you? Retreat quickly, this is the domain of our Revolutionary Army. Don't blame me for waiting further. Of the Revolutionary Army with a solemn expression. Noisy ants. The man standing in the void waved his hand lightly in the air, and in the next instant, a terrifying giant energy palm appeared on the cadre. On top of a boulder, the 7 orifices bleed, and the pupils were filled with unbelievable eyes. He tilted his head and was slapped to death on the spot. This guy. The mysterious man who suddenly appeared, everyone who looked at it immediately became dumbfounded, but it was the core combat cadre of their Revolutionary Army, who was killed by this suddenly appearing man. Hee, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. Long, are you always trying to be a tortoise? If that's the case, then I will destroy this small island. Boom. The voice fell, and the mysterious man VV pressed his right palm down, and immediately a huge palm of invisible energy of hundreds of meters rolled towards the island. Most of them are revolutionary troops, and of course there are many islanders among them. This move is absolutely ruthless, and there is no holding back. Presumptuous. Just when the invisible giant palm of the mysterious man was about to fall, a violent shout suddenly erupted, the next moment of invisible energy gathered, and then instantly collided with the giant palm of more than 100 feet in the sky. The two attacks were the central point, and instantly spread to the entire island country. Terrifying strong winds raged. Many surrounding buildings were destroyed by the aftermath, and the revolutionary army and people scattered. "You're still here." The leader of the revolutionary army, Long's face turned pale. Obviously he was a little reluctant to receive the blow just now, and he also had some guesses about the identity of the person who came. "Oh, didn't expect you to notice it." As expected of the revolutionary army leader who gave Marine a headache, the most vicious prisoner in the world, he has a little patience. "I think you should be the one with good strength that you met on the sea area. Boy, I thought that thunder would kill Whitebeard, but I never thought that I met you at that time. However, this time you are not as lucky as Whitebeard. HMPH, stop talking nonsense, it's not that easy to kill me." The leader dragon's expression was as solemn as ever. Facing the mysterious man in front of him, he did not dare to be careless at all. The wind-type devil fruit was driven to the extreme, and the instantly devastating punch slammed into the mysterious man. As if tearing apart the void, instantly smashing into the heart of the mysterious man. Chapter 200_Revolutionary Army Leader died. An angry blow came in a flash. But in this room, the corner of the mysterious man's mouth curved into a mysterious arc. "Really?" Scoff. After one punch, Long punched directly through the mysterious man's heart, but his face was not very happy, some were full of solemnity. "Did you hit, as expected of a leader? Through the heart, that person is dead. Dare to fight with our leaders, courting death. However, why don't you see blood, don't you? No, that's a phantom." Many revolutionary armies were hotly discussing. It was the mysterious man whose heart was penetrated by their leader, and the afterimage dissipated. At this moment, Long also found something wrong and hurriedly closed his hands to prepare for defense. "Hee, the strength is good, but the speed is too slow." The mysterious man instantly appeared by the dragon's side, raised his hand and slammed the dragon's heart at the heart of the dragon. He arrived in a blink of an eye, and the dragon had not yet completely stabilized his mind. He was directly slapped by the mysterious man, and instantly turned into a cannonball. Violently smashed it towards the square of the island. Loud roar. The revolutionary army's god of war, the leader Long, was directly shot down from the air by the mysterious man, and everyone around was in an uproar. "Family people, damn it." Again smashed the dragon with a punch from the air. In an instant, the entire marble floor of the square was cracked, and the cracks in the spider web spread far away. The breath was sluggish again. "HMPH, it's just a stronger ant, and dare to resist me Tenryubito. Since you resist, you will have to pay the price. Don't worry, I will let everyone on this island bury you with me." Mysterious man raised his right palm, took a deep breath, and some kind of cold light bloomed, and the next moment, with the mysterious man as the center, the huge energy hand with a radius of 1,000 meters, instantly shot down from the sky. A single blow, the entire island was smashed into pieces, the island sank, and countless people and revolutionary troops fell into the sea, becoming a delicacy in the mouths of countless sea kings. Cough cough cough. "Damn, who are you?" The leader Long was surging up against the blood, and his mouth was full of freshness. The strength of this mysterious man in front of him far exceeded his imagination. It was terrifying. He is not worried about his own death, but he is worried about whether Baizi can be saved in the future. "Hee, since you are about to die, then I will tell you who I am. I am Tenryubito, Lord of the Void. I am, Gorosei, 5 elders. They call me Lord I am." "Okay, go to die." Mysterious man I am, Lord of the Void of Tenryubito, with his right hand towards Long Vivi held it lightly, and the next leader of the revolutionary army, Long, was directly killed by Yimu. As for everyone on the entire island, they all died here. There are hundreds of thousands of people, and their methods are cruel and inhumane. Facing the blood-filled island, Im's eyes did not fluctuate at all, and his eyes swept to the marine headquarters. Since the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long, died, you Garp don't need to exist anymore. Figure flashed, and I am just disappeared in place. At the same time, in the room of Sabo, the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army, with a click, the wine glass in question fell out of his hand, and the whole person was dumbfounded. Because in his hands the leader dragon's life paper goes out, which means their leader dragon is dead. Dead? No, it's impossible. How could the leader die? Impossible, it's impossible. The shrill screams instantly pierced the headquarters of the Revolutionary Army, and many cadres of the Revolutionary Army came to Sabo's room in unison. What happened? Sabo, how did the leader's life paper go out? It's impossible. How could the leader's life paper go out? Damn, I don't believe it. I'm going to call the leader. Fake, must be fake. In about a quarter of an hour, the detectives of the Revolutionary Army came with the bad news of their leader's death, and all the cadres in the Revolutionary Army were stunned by the bad news. It is impossible for their leader, their god of war, to die. They cannot believe it is true. The leader dragon can be said to be their spiritual pillar, and now that the pillar is gone, how can they be calm? At this moment, all the revolutionary troops felt that the sky was falling. If this news spreads, the blow to their revolutionary army is absolutely unprecedented. Leader Baizi, he was a backup to the former leader Long. If he has any accident, let the second leader of Baizi take his place, and Sabo quickly contact leader Baizi. That's right, now only leader Baizi becomes our new leader so that it won't cause more trouble. And this matter has to be quick, otherwise the news of the leader's death will not be kept secret for long. Many cadres suddenly thought of the backhand that Long had left behind for them. In addition to the leader Long, they also had the second leader Baizi, and they believed that with his ability, they would definitely be able to avenge their leader Long. Call. Okay, I'll contact leader Baizi immediately. Sabo breathed a sigh of relief. If Luffy knew about this, he would be heartbroken.